as some of you may know, some of you may not know, but it just seems like the motorcycles are, or anyone that I've had, it seems like they've been built and designed around 150 miles a tank. The Shadow that I had, I mean, I got 50 miles to the gallon on that, but it held a gallon less than this bike, and I got 150 miles. At 150 miles, that's right about, I could get 150 just fine, and then if I try to go 155 or 160, which is at 50 miles a gallon, it's not that much further, but that's when I would have to flip it over to reserve. I had it a few times. I tried to stretch it, and it actually started to stumble on me, and I had to flip over to reserve. And I got where I was going. I never ran out of gas and was stalled, but just knowing that I was right there, kind of already knowing I was right there on fuel and everything, was I just knew I was cutting it close and was next to a gas station. But in this bike, I seem to only get about 40 miles to the gallon. See, I won't do that. I'm not a complete safety nut, but just riding in a t-shirt, and then your passengers only got a t-shirt and capri jeans like that. But off subject. But anyway, I just said I get about 40 miles to the gallon in this, and the tank's bigger, and it seems like 150 miles, and the light comes on, fuel light comes on. So fuel light came on one time at 150, and I did stretch it, and I got to 165, and I hadn't run out yet. But somewhere around 150, and when the light comes on, I just like to fill it up, because if I get sidetracked and don't do it kind of right then, yeah, the light's there, but I just kind of forget maybe where I'm at, and I don't want to catch myself out when I finally realize that I'm right on empty and I can't get gas. So I never had one. When I looked into the supermotos a little bit, I know those things get pretty good gas mileage. I've seen reports of 70 plus, and then I've seen reports of like 50. I think it just depends on how you ride them. And the gas tanks on those are a lot smaller. So some of those might get 140 maximum, or they might only get 100. And that was one of the reasons why I didn't buy one for my primary bike. It's just that I didn't want to, kind of the hassle that it already is to stop every 150 miles, to be on the bad side of it and have to stop every 100 miles. Just a lot of trips to the gas station for a primary motorcycle. And I think my friend, his Shadow, he had the 1300, and he said he got about 40 miles to the gallon, but it was the same. The tank was bigger than on mine, so he stopped about every 150 miles. I think I've heard reports that the FC07 or the CBR 500, the naked bike, that they get about 200 miles to the tank, I've heard. And I don't really know about the 250s. I don't know anybody that's had one personally that I could ask. So that's the downside. Good side is you are getting good miles to the gallon, and you're ultimately spending less money on gas, but you're just making more frequent trips to the gas station. Well, to talk about my friend with the 1300 Shadow, he's kind of the reason I bought a sport bike. Because I had my Shadow, and I kind of knew I didn't want that as my motorcycle for a long time. But I got it because I got a really good deal on it. It was only the 750, and it was my first real motorcycle, street motorcycle. But he had his 1300. He had rode sport bikes as a teenager. I kind of got him into dirt bike riding, where I had one, a bunch of my other friends had ones, we were riding, and he was another friend, kind of a different group. Really good friend, but he wasn't in the group with us riding motorcycles and BMX bikes and skateboards and all that stuff. But he eventually wanted to start riding a little bit, and we got him a dirt bike. You know, I had to race. I was taking my motocross bike to the track and doing jumps and everything, and he got an old Honda XR 600. But even at a 600 XR, you know, it didn't have no power, trail bike and all. But I would go riding with him. Barbecue, charcoal barbecue. Smells good. But he started riding, and he got hooked on motorcycles, and he ended up making some other friends kind of after high school. This is during high school, and after high school he made some other friends when we had kind of went our different ways. So he started riding sport bikes, and it's just kind of ironic that he ended up buying the Cruiser first, but I think that was just what he found, what he could find in the area he was living in. And but he had other friends. He had moved to San Francisco, and so he bought the Cruiser, and he made some other friends with some sport bikes, and so he'd ride with them anyway and borrow one of theirs. In the end, when he ended up moving out to Phoenix, that's where the very early videos, before I was really doing vlogs, I put up some footage of me riding his CBR 600 RR. And he bought that afterwards, and he actually intended to turn that into a track bike, and it just never really got turned into one, because there's a track out there, I think around Scottsdale, and I think he took it up there a few times. He just never got around to making that into a full conversion. But not to turn the story too long, I went out there, thought I wanted to ride a sport bike, so I rode his, and he let me ride it. And we were mainly on highways, and so I guess I didn't quite get the full experience, and that's, now that I've got one and got the full experience, I'm kind of not really liking the full experience. And but there's reasons, as I've said numerous times, there's reasons why I wanted to get off the Cruiser, and all those reasons hold true for the sport bikes. But so much about him, I guess, because it kind of just come up. It's coming up soon, fairly soon. He sold all of his stuff, everything that he had owned. Sold his house, sold the sport bike, sold all his furniture, sold everything to move to, basically quit his job and move to South America for about 2 years. And whatever, he's 5 months in, 5.5 months in. And he's just making his trip through Mexico, Central America, down on through. But he's gonna come up, fly back up to Phoenix, get his cruiser, and then ride on up and do Sturgis, and then end up flying back to continue his time of being and living in South America. He's just having a good time he's kind of starting up an online business, online travel site. And so he's going down through there and just getting information and pictures and stuff for all the vacation tourist spots for his site while he's living pretty cheap down there. But he wanted me to go do Sturgis, or was asking me if I wanted to go do Sturgis with him, and I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can get off work, and honestly, I don't know if they'd let me in with this thing. They might make me park way down the street and way down the block and just walk around. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I'm probably not going to do it. And he thought about going from Sturgis down here to North Carolina, but that's a long ride in itself. Nonetheless, from Phoenix to where Sturgis is, but from there back down to here, I don't think he's gonna make it, but we'll see. I'm trying to talk him into moving out here when he comes back. Where's Black Snake Road? We're hitting Black Snake Road again, by the way. And it seems like I miss a turn every time I go on it, and I don't get lost. I end up knowing where I'm at, but I don't take the turn and the route that I actually want to take. So we're going to try again today. Hope I don't get, lost and end up somewhere where I didn't really want to be. But like I say, I'm trying to get him to maybe move down here, and but I don't know. He really liked Phoenix. So he's probably just going to end up moving back there when it's all said and done. And there was Black Snake, and I missed it, so we gotta turn around. For some reason I was looking for a bank. Well, there's probably a bank right there. The bank's probably what I missed. I turned around in the bank one time. But I guess we'll turn right here and turn around. See, I get lost. I've been here a few times, and I should know where I'm going, but I don't. Let's not get in the grass. So it would be fun. I'm just, I guess, telling all the stories and talking about him. I just kind of ask you guys if you guys have ever been to Sturgis, Daytona Bike Week. Where else is a big one? I don't even know where all the big ones are. Those are definitely two of the biggest in the United States. So any of you guys, I know one or two of you guys that are subscribed already are not in the United States. They're big. It's that Carolina Health. Not a bank, it's a health. Carolina Health. But are there any big bike meetups or bike events where you guys are? And if so, what are they? Cruiser events mainly, or all kind of events? That's kind of the thing here. Bike weeks in Daytona and Sturgis, I'm saying never have been there. I don't know that if the sport bikes are really present, but I know that they're mainly Harley Davidson and cruiser events. Indians making a little bigger comeback nowadays, so there might be some more Indians. There might be some victories. Victories are kind of getting kind of big brand. And then they all make them. Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, they all make cruisers too. One day I might get to Daytona to do bike week one year, and even if I don't end up taking a bike, I may just go down there for all the festivities and check out everyone else's bikes, because Daytona is about 8 hours away, 8-hour drive. Back to the beginning of my friend, like trying to get him to move out here. His old company that he worked for, he said that they have an office here in Charlotte, and I never looked it up. But if that's true, then he could get his old job back if he wanted to, I bet, and be here in Charlotte. And then I'd have somebody to ride with. I got the other guy on the R1. He's more or less an acquaintance. His girlfriend is the one who's kind of our friend in my group of friends. But I really haven't hung out with him that much. So I could do it. I could ask him, I guess. And like I said, I know him and we're okay with each other, and I bet he'd ride. But like I said, him and his group of riding friends, they go really fast, and I would have, they'd kind of have to slow down for me, or just wait, and just kind of whenever they get to the end of the road, kind of wait on me. But I make some other friends. I got ideas, plans. It's summertime, and they're starting to have bike nights at different places now in the area. And it's kind of odd though, the sport bike scene here in Charlotte for sport bikes, it kind of, from the outside, it looks a little rough, the kind of people that you get on it. And there's been some incidents that I've heard about, but it just depends. It's not all people are bad. And like I said, I've had one, and I don't have anything wrong with people on Harleys or cruisers, and nothing says you can't all ride together. So I'll make some friends, hopefully meet some people, make some friends, and get to ride. We'll see if I don't miss this next turn. I hope there's a road sign. I looked at the map. I think it's right up here at this corner. There's something over there with a bunch of tennis courts. anyway, if I miss the turn and stay on this road, I'm going to get back to where I want to go. So it doesn't matter. Maybe the next turn. But, so I don't know, along with the bike weeks, or the big meetups, bike meetups, or bike weeks, or whatever you guys call it, do you guys have a bunch of bike nights at restaurants or at, you know, an event like out in Phoenix there, which is held at a mall? You know, do you guys have all that stuff? And have you guys met other riders, people that you now ride with all the time, at events like that? Just let me know. Leave me comments, let me know. We're gonna end it. I don't really know how much further I have to go to ride, but I don't need the vlog. I don't need this vlog to be an hour long. You guys won't sit here and watch it for an hour, so anyway, just leave me a comment. Let me know if you guys have been to Daytona or Sturgis or anywhere like that, in other countries. If you're from other countries and you came over here to go to Daytona or Sturgis or anything like that. And as always, I hope you guys ride safe. Enjoy your time out on the roads. And I'll see you guys on the next ride.